So tomorrow we've got the Bank of England base rate announcing whether they're going to raise interest rates. My own personal opinion is that I think they have to stick to the plan and we will see another base rate rise. But Charles probably has a slightly different view. Charles, what do you think?
I do. I think we've seen some interesting news over the last 2 weeks, Paul. We've seen 2 bank failures in America. We've seen the announcement and merger of Credit Suisse with UBS. And I think as a consequence of that, we may not see the Bank of England looking to increase rates tomorrow. Albeit, this morning we have had the announcement of inflation creeping up beyond where it was in January, which could bring that back into play. So there's mixed press out there at the moment. Personally,
Very difficult, isn't it?
It's like, difficult.
I mean, for me, I think you have to stick to a plan. If you have a plan, you stick to the plan. And I think with the news that's gone on in the last 2 weeks, it's been sort of back to 2008 territory with bank failures and lots of fear amongst normal people.
And bank borrowing costs have gone up. What we're seeing in the mortgage market is longer term swaps are falling away a little bit. We've seen a little bit pick up in the last few days. We're seeing more players come into the market with more competitive rates, as we know. It seems to be very much a moving feast at the moment. Lots of news daily, lots of sometimes unsettling news, but we've just got to learn to live with that.
I think sometimes for me it's always probably a good thing to turn off all the social media. If you're under a lot of pressure, financial pressure with food costs, energy costs, mortgage costs, it's very, very depressing reading.
But I think on the positive side, what have we got? We're moving to the spring. It's always a nicer time to live.
The daffodils are out.
Daffodils are starting to flourish. The clocks go back clocks go forward. Anyway, it's lighter in the evening, whatever that may be. And I just think we feel better about ourselves as we move into spring. Typically, the spring sees a lot more houses coming to the market. Where will prices be? Who knows? But, from a personal point of view, I think we've got to look forward. And we've got to look forward positively.
No, I agree. And I think for me, we're seeing a normalisation that people are having to come to terms with the underlying cost of debt. So if base rate moves from 4 to 4.25 to 4.5, I think that's going to be short term personally. And I think towards the back end of this year, beginning of next, I think what we may see is base rate move towards a 3.5% longer term play. But this stubborn inflationary pressure that we're seeing, I think is going to be a challenge. But for me, it's a period of adjustment. We've had such a long period of time with low interest rates. Now we've got to come to terms with base rate being 4, and
it is,
it's not easy.
Guys of our age, Paul, have seen her, have been right through the cycle, haven't we? In terms of when you were looking to fix your mortgage in 20 years ago, you were comfortable at 4.5%. But we have got so used to cheap borrowing over the last 10, 12 years that when it's back, when a 5-year fixed is back at 3.9, 3.75, people are still balking at it. But that's reality at the moment. We do believe we'll see base rate falling away as we move forward into 23 and 24. But will it ever get back to where it was a year ago? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think for me, we're in a new normal, a new phase in the cycle. And I think for me personally, this monetary supply is long overdue. I think interest rates should have risen far sooner. And I think we're paying the price now for it, unfortunately.
And the pundits are absolutely saying that. The government, the Chancellor should have been onto it earlier to arrest this problem that we're seeing at the moment, which is rampant inflation. We're still over 10%. When you go to the supermarket, things are a lot more expensive now. We've got all the wage inflation coming through. As all the the public service sectors are locking in their new pay rises,
it's tough.
And therefore we're seeing it in the price of goods and the price of drink and just day-to-day living.
Yeah, it is much more expensive, and I think for us as professional advisors, we'll always do what we can to help you negotiate your mortgage position, review it in a positive light, see what the best terms are, both short-term and long-term. And we'll do the best we can to help. So if you have any questions, DM us in the messages below. Charles and I are always here to help.
Absolutely.
Thank you.